Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Frequency Intel. This is the 7th of May as I'm recording this and here live. And I want to say thank you for joining me and creating this energy to read the frequencies of the collective energies that we are utilizing to create from. And this week feels like, especially today, feels like a huge demarcation has happened. And we're in the energies of the full moon eclipse, and how we choose to move through this coming week really sets us up for the next 6 months, and how those energies are going to be supporting us and helping us to navigate all of these big transformational energies that we're in. And so the theme of this week is really about leaving the known. And that demarcation has happened where all of the known experiences, energies, ways of creating have fallen away. So they're no longer falling away. They have really, there's been an ending. That is the energy that I'm really sensing. And so leaving the known, we can reference that by thinking about the epic quest, or growing up and leaving the village, or leaving the home that we grew up in, leaving the life that we've created, and moving into a new way of creating, into a new curiosity, into creating in new ways. And when we leave the village, there's always a bit of a pull to stay by the people that are around us. And so we have that little bit of a tug that calls us back, but it's up to us to stay firm in our conviction of what we are creating new, what we are choosing to create now. And so that helps us move into the flow when we are in our place of knowing what it is that we are choosing in each and every moment. And so the energies that are really here to support us is this beautiful gnosis, this internal heart convicted knowing of what it is that we are wanting to experience, wanting to create, wanting to make different in our lives. And a new life really is emerging for us. There is a huge portal of transformation happening. And this portal is ours to imagine and to create from how we will. And that's why this week is so important to how we are going to be experiencing and encountering the energies of the cosmic creation potential for the next 6 months. So this week is super important to give ourselves a huge amount of space and to really honor what is arising in each and every moment, and to not necessarily move away from the challenges that we may be facing. One of the ways that we can really work with this energy is to move towards the challenges that we're facing. And this energy is, there's this bifurcation of energy that we've been talking about for a while now. And, you know, the frequencies that we're in may shift incrementally, or they may shift monumentally. And right now we're in these incremental shifts. So the energies are not drastically different every single week. They're incrementally different every week. And so we can work with that as choosing the chaos energy or the calm energy. And we can choose to be calm in the chaos of life. We can choose to be calm and allow the chaos of life to transform us, to remold us, to repattern us, to reshape us, and to open and expand our perceptions and perspective of what's possible in life and what's possible for us personally. So really tapping into this energy of impermanence. And this has been the energy that we've been in for so long. We're becoming, hopefully, with our beautiful, diligent practices, more accustomed to the impermanence of life, which is the true nature of life. Permanence in life is something that we're taught. And this is also referring back to leaving the village, leaving our known universe, leaving what we've already created, and allowing for that leaving. Maybe it's just an internal leaving. Maybe it's not a physical leaving. Maybe it is a physical leaving. But either way, what we're doing is we're moving more and more into coherence and stability in instability. So we are finding our balance in the chaos of life. And this is such a beautiful principle for us to be working with, the impermanence of life. And I love the term that is so beautiful, that is used often in the literary community, and that is ephemeral. An ephemeral work, an ephemeral item, an ephemeral belief, an ephemeral way of being in the world allows for the elegance of our ever becoming transformation to work through us, to work us, to transform us, to cultivate the soil of our own internal garden and allow that soil to be enlivened, to allow that soil to be nourished and nurtured, and for the compost of our life that we're transforming to be folded into the soil of our internal space, and to give rise to that which wants to be birthed through us next, that which our soul wants to experience next. And so I love the term of transience, and this is another term for impermanence. But I love the definition of transience. It is a momentary variation in frequency. And that statement is so rich and so fertile. It's like that black, deep, rich delta soil that cultivates the farmlands, that grows the crops, that feed the soul, that nurture the soul. And nothing happens in a state of stasis. Nothing happens in certainty. And so our minds, our ego minds, have been trained to prize certainty, to prize knowing what the outcome is going to be. And as we're moving through this beautiful portal eclipse and setting the tone of our experience for the next 6 months, when we step willingly into impermanence, into the chaos that is reshaping and forging us into new awarenesses, new insights, new potentials of creation, then we we are becoming that fertile soil that gives us the ability to create something that's never been created before in our own lives, to experience new vistas in internal states of consciousness that have not been experienced before, for us to move into new levels of consciousness, new bandwidths of frequency that we haven't been able to access before. And so this time is so rich and so vital and so full of potential. And it's going to require an enormous amount of self-care for us to really begin to cultivate a level of self-care that we haven't known before. And so the strategy for working with the frequencies and these beautiful energies of new life emerging, of chaos, being in the storm and then dropping into the center of the storm when we need to find a moment of peace and come back to our center, but allowing ourselves to be in the chaos of transformation and to cultivate the ability to balance in the chaos of life, because the only thing that is certain in this time is that there is going to be chaos, and to draw our attention away from the externalized chaos that has been created by other external forces, I'll say, and to bring our awareness back to center, back to self, and to choose to be in our own internal chaos. And this is a new way of being in the world. This is a new way of stepping into our highest potentials, learning to let go of the need for calm and peace at all times, and discerning whether or not the agitation, the emotion that is arising is beneficial or not beneficial, and then going towards the emotion that is beneficial, the experience that's beneficial, even if it's something that we don't want to experience. And this is sort of self-tough love that we are offering for this week. And so the strategies to work with this is to really recognize a state of internal focus, and knowing that our internal dominion is the only place, the only space that we have the ability to shape, to mold, to architect, to create from. Our internal dominion is the only place that we have any control over. And so to really pay attention to what you are feeding your internal state. What beautiful foods are you feeding your internal state? What information are you feeding your internal state? What experiences are you feeding your internal state? And to really choose the highest vibrational frequencies of foods, of experiences, of connection, of relationship, of companionship, of information, and to give yourself permission to choose the highest quality, the highest frequency of everything that you are internalizing, everything that you are taking in, whether you're taking it in as nourishment through food, whether you're taking it in as nourishment through being in the sun, whether you're taking it in as nourishment through divine connections with really loving, generous companions who are on the journey, whether you are taking in information through choosing really high vibrational shows, movies, documentaries, information, YouTube videos? Are you taking in high frequency, really loving, compassionate, kind, generous frequencies in music? Or are you listening to things that are vibrationally incoherent with your own frequency? Really paying attention to multi-sensory, multi-dimensional ways that you are feeding this beautiful being that we are, and choosing in each and every moment the luxury of giving yourself the highest vibrational frequency, information, and sustenance that you can give yourself in each and every moment. So that is the most beneficial thing that we can do this week. And that includes giving yourself permission to rest when you are tired. Even taking 5 minutes, doing a 5-minute yoga nidra, going through your body and relaxing each section of your body, giving yourself permission to daydream on the sofa, or to take yourself out in nature and really listen deeply internally to your internal state in each and every moment. This is so vitally important that we do these things for ourselves right now. It is setting us up for the next 6-month portal of transformation that we are going through. We are going through chaos. We are going through internal transformation, and that is inherently chaotic. And so the other strategy that I think is really beautiful and really important is letting go of certainty. Each and every moment, noticing when your mind wants to go to figuring something out, trying to prepare, future projecting, and simply loving your mind, loving your ego for trying to keep you safe, because that's how the ego mind knows to keep things in stasis, keep things the same. And simply saying thank you and choosing to let go of needing certainty. And that is an indication when your mind goes into needing certainty. That's an indication that there is some fear coming up of the unknown, and to simply tell your mind, govern your mind, and tell your mind, I am the soul in charge, and I am choosing uncertainty. I'm choosing to let go of needing to know, so that I can move into a new dimensional awareness, a new bandwidth of consciousness, into what has never been created before, so I can create in new ways. And this is really the beautiful gift that we are being given right now by the divine creator, source, consciousness, the divine mind, that thing that we can never name. We try so hard to name it, but we can never name this beautiful 0-point field, our cosmic best friend. And to take in and honor this gift of unlearning attachment to sameness. That is the gift that we're being given. And to see it as a gift sets us into the dominion of our own creation potentials and our own ability to balance within the chaos that we're experiencing, and to not go into resistance to the chaos. That's when we create suffering for ourselves. So when we can move towards chaos, when we can move towards uncertainty, when we can move towards the unknown with an internal state of peace and harmony, and curiosity and expectation of the divine amazement that we are going to be experiencing, then we move out of the old mindset that suffering is required in change, that suffering is required for transformation, because that is simply a concept of the mind. That is not a universal truth. So suffering is not required of being human. Suffering is not required for us to be human and to change and grow. It is a choice that we make to be either in acceptance of what is happening in each moment or in resistance to it. So when we can learn to move towards difficult emotions, when we can move towards difficult understandings of ourselves, maybe some difficult ways that we've created in the past that's coming up into our awareness for us to know and choose differently, the shadow of ourselves, the ways that we've rejected ourselves and others, when we move towards those parts of ourself and those experiences that are coming up, the challenging emotions, then we can befriend those experiences and learn from them, and they will dissolve out of our awareness because we are not in resistance to them. They are simply trying to get our attention to teach us something, to help us grow, to help us transform and learn. So we're learning to stand in the fire and not shrink back and not be afraid of the fire. Fire is a beautiful transformational elemental that is here to support us, to turn us into ash so that we can nurture that beautiful, rich delta soil of what we are using as the substance to create, to generate our new garden from, to generate the new blossoms of creation, to generate the new trees that bear fruit inside us, in our internal landscape. And so the other way that we can approach this is to learn an appreciation for feeling emptiness. And emptiness is an integral part of transformation. When we are in a state of transformation, when we are letting go of what no longer serves us, when we're letting go of what has been created to its fullest potential, when we are leaving the village, when we're leaving home, when we're leaving the known, and we're setting off on our epic voyage of creating something new, of experiencing something new, we are creating a space of emptiness. And often that space of emptiness we've been taught to feel uncomfortable in emptiness. We have been taught to fill every moment with something. We have been taught to fill every moment to the point of distraction, where we're not comfortable sitting in the emptiness. And so one of the practices that I want to invite us all into this week to begin to have an appreciation for emptiness is to very simply sit in a space of silence. No music, no television, no videos going in the background, nothing outside of the natural state of sound that exists. And then to bring our focus internal, and that can be as simple as taking one breath and then focusing on the sound that you hear inside of you. What is your native sound? And listening deeply. And that will help you cultivate, that will help all of us cultivate the appreciation for emptiness. And that is the way to move into the 0 point field. That is the way for the mind to be retrained, repatterned, reprogrammed to appreciate emptiness, to appreciate the open potential of all that is, and to release the attachment to sameness, the attachment to certainty, and the attachment to the known. And so the other thing that's really, really alive and present that has been arising is this idea of the critic. And that the critic can be internal or the critic can be external. And if you are listening to this frequency intel, if you are listening to this kind of content, and you are on this path of self-realization and moving into creating our potential to create heaven on earth now, and to create in new and novel ways, and to learn to love ourselves unconditionally, learn to open our hearts and love everything and everyone in our experience, then we're going to run into the critic, because we are reaching for more. We're reaching for unknowns, and we're leaving the village, we're leaving home, and we're leaving others behind. And those others can be internal selves, internal ego structures, internal ways of creating and being, or they can be people in our lives, experiences, jobs, places, homes, all of the things that we create in our lives, old groups and companions. And though it is challenging for the internal critic to understand why you would want to change, why you would want to reach for more, why you would want to know what your true potential is, and to experience your true potential. And so understanding that not everyone and everything, including internal aspects of yourself, can understand why you are reaching for more, why you are choosing to change, why you're choosing to do the things that you're doing, why you're choosing to eat more high vibrational foods. I mean, it can be as simple as someone criticizing you for no longer eating meat, or no longer eating gluten, or some of the things that we run into as we are embodying our light body, and we're moving through these ascension portals that our bodies no longer require to be healthy. And so really, really knowing that it's okay to allow them to have their opinions, but not to be thwarted by their opinions, whether it's an internal criticized opinion or an external criticized opinion, to simply keep flying higher. So that is one of the most important strategies that I have used on my journey, is to let go of needing for everyone to agree, everyone to understand, and everyone to support what we are choosing to do in this new way of creating. And so I want to just share with you some love and encouragement, because it is really challenging to learn how to sit in chaos, to learn how to sit with the difficult emotions that arise, to learn how to face the parts of ourselves that we're not so happy about. And so this beautiful statement came up, and it just brought me to my knees and to tears. And I still feel emotional, even thinking about this statement. And the statement is, stop trying to be extraordinary and realize that you already are. Stop trying to be extraordinary and realize that you already are, and that you can't not be extraordinary. That the amount of love in that statement is monumental. We spend so much of our times trying to figure out how to be extraordinary, how to be what we think we're not, and how to stand out, how to win followers, how to get the better job, how to fill in the blank. We spend so much time trying to figure this out. And what I know for sure is that when I lean back and I stop trying, my mind gets quiet and I am moved by life. Life starts to inform me. That beautiful 0 point, our cosmic best friend, starts to guide me and inform me, and life starts to flow through me, for me, as me. And so this is really about self-governance. It's about knowing that we are the queen and king of our kingdom, and that we need to be in integrity and in loyalty to the self. When we are loyal to external forces, when we are loyal to external people over ourselves, then we're going astray. And we are no longer in self-governance. We're being governed by lack and limitation programs that we've all had instilled in us for generations and eons. And now this is one of the ways that we are transforming, is that we are transforming the externalized loyalty programs, loyalty to a country, loyalty to a school, loyalty to a job, loyalty to even familial loyalties. If they are overriding our own ability to do what is right for us in each and every now moment, then we have been led astray by the old programs of lack and limitation. And so I want to encourage all of us to remember to return back to our center, return to the eye of the storm, and let the storm transform us. And I just want to share so much love, so much reverence, and so much faith and trust that where we are going is so extraordinary. And I encourage all of us to just keep taking the next step. It turns out really, really, really well, way beyond what we can dream up. And it's up to each and every one of us to do our parts to transform our own internal landscape, our own internal reality, and therefore our external reality. And therefore the consequences of that ripple out into the collective and affect the whole. And that is where we have the most power. That is where our authentic power is. And so thank you so much for sharing your time and for participating and listening. Thank you for sharing these frequency intel with others that you feel may benefit from knowing about them. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the next frequency intel.